Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone, and you're watching the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. 1 hour of commercial-free podcasting starts now. Enjoy the show.
All right, we are now roughly 1/3 of the way through most regular seasons in fantasy football, even with the extra week, which means it's time to take a look in the mirror, see if your team really has what it takes to win it all this year. It's time to talk about some players doing calm or chaos again, trust or bust. As always, we'll do some trade targets for you guys, some buy lows, sell highs, and finish up with a preview of Thursday night football tomorrow. And of course, some trivia with Q. So might as well just jump right into it. Got a lot to cover today. Start off with some calm or chaos. I mean, we got to start at quarterback. We saw it on Sunday night. Tom Brady, 11.06 points, 269 yards passing, but no touchdowns and no turnovers. Is this calm or chaos on old man Tom?
This is disrespectful that you put him on.
Yeah, this
rainy
really
game,
is.
rainy game.
Rainy game, emotional game. Not that the emotion mattered, but it was rainy.
Yeah. Well, you had some people might be panicking out there. You never know.
No
Got to make sure
way.
they know to stay calm on Tom Brady right
It's
now.
the
I
goat.
think
He played the only person not named Eli Manning or Nick Foles that knows how to beat him.
Right.
Yeah, true.
And if he had Gronk, I think it would have been a different game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's also true.
I do think he was missing him a lot as well, especially for like those short intermediate throws where like you need that reliable guy, especially with the rain. But yeah, Tom Brady will be fine. Moving on to the next quarterback, Lamar Jackson, 21.44 points. Not a great day, but not a bad day. 316 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 7 carries for 28 yards. This is now his third game with less than 22 points, but also more than 20. So he's kind of just been in a very tight range aside from one really good game. So is this calm or chaos on Lamar? Is this really where he's going to be for the rest of the year?
I think
was
he's been
just about to
solid.
Say that. Yeah, I think he has been solid. I don't think he's going to be like the top 5 quarterback that people are consistently drafting him to be. I mean, I think his best season was his rookie year. Defense has kind of figured out what he likes to do. And other than that, he's just going to be super sturdy. But, I mean, you're not complaining with Lamar as your quarterback right now.
Lamar's 30.
You'll at least expect 20 points a game as the floor because he has to do everything really.
Yeah, exactly. I think you just want a little bit more upside. I mean, consistently 20, 21 isn't bad, but I think I want to see like that those 25, 30 point games like he's capable of. We saw it against the Chiefs, 107 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. That's his only game with more than 1 touchdown in a game. So you want to see him get those touchdowns up. But yeah, you're definitely staying calm on Lamar. You're not panicking for any reason. Last quarterback, though, Kirk Cousins, guy we were talking up as a trust, 12 points, 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Pretty quiet day at the office. This is calm or chaos on Kirk.
It was bound to happen.
I said that this was the game where if he produced, he's lock it in, forget about it, but he just couldn't pull through.
Yeah, that was by far his toughest matchup so far this season. And, I mean, that's what happens when you play a good defense. And the 1 interception was his first turnover all season. So, I mean, could have been a lot worse for Kirk, but also could have been a lot better. But I think you're staying calm on Kirk.
Yeah, I think you have to as well, especially with the Lions next week. I still think he's worth a start next week for sure. If you're looking for somebody.
And the weeks ahead after Detroit is Carolina, the bye week, and then Dallas.
Yeah, definitely a good bye week fill-in to keep your eye on if he's still out there in waivers in your league. But if he is, might as well pick him up now. I think he's worth holding on your bench. Moving on to some running backs. Chris Carson, only 4.1 points. 13 carries for 30 yards, 1 catch for 1 yard on 1 target. And he only played 45% of the snaps after only 43% last week. This is calm or chaos on Chris Carson here.
You would have thought he was injured watching the game.
I don't think it's chaos just yet, but it's definitely a little scary. And then Alex Collins fucking tap dancing his way out of the woodwork.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about him in a little bit. But yeah, Chris Carson, you got to stay calm for now. It's just his first bad performance. Even with this limited snap share last week, he was able to find the end zone. So he's going to be involved on this team. I think you got to stay calm.
So maybe he is injured, and tomorrow it'll be old news about his neck injury. But maybe that's why he was out.
Yeah, it's a possibility. But the one thing that really scares me is over the past 3 games, he only has 3 receiving yards.
Ooh.
Yeah. You really need him to be involved in the passing game. We've seen him be a beast in the passing game in the past, but
Yeah, that's why it's like, what the hell is going on?
Well, the last game, Russell Wilson only had like 145 yards passing. He had 3 touchdowns though, but he wasn't throwing the ball as much.
yeah. And he's been spreading the ball around a lot as well. I mean, we've seen Freddie Swain be getting involved. And this week he only ended up throwing 23 passes total. So yeah, not fully confident right now in Chris Carson, but you still got to stay calm, keep rolling him out there. Someone who you might be starting to panic on, Miles Sanders, 7.7 points, only 7 carries for 13 yards, saved his workload a little bit with 3 catches for 34 yards on 3 targets. Is this calm or chaos for Miles Sanders?
Absolute chaos. Yo,
The house is coming down on Miles Sanders.
He's like playing that.
Nearly 50-50 split with Gainwell, which isn't good.
This is horrible, man.
How do you have 9 rushes in 2 games? That's
so bad. The most volume he's gotten came in week 1. That's when he had 15 carries. And since then, I don't know if he's seen double-digit touches in the game.
He had 13
Aside
carries
from week
in
3.
week 2.
Week 2.
Yeah. But yeah, week 3, week 4, it's been pretty bad.
Yeah, week 3 was bad.
He's not startable.
Come on, Nick.
Nope. He's not.
He's got to get the ball more. Like, he's got to just be fed more. I mean, obviously the last 2 games compared to the first 2 games, the Eagles were down early and down throughout most of the game. But that's something that might happen pretty often this year with the Eagles. So if they're not going to run the game, I mean, if they're going to abandon the run game that easy in back-to-back weeks, I wouldn't be shocked if they continue to abandon it. Like at Carolina, not confident that they're going to win or be close. Tampa Bay the next week, at Las Vegas, who was undefeated until this week. They still got the Chargers coming up. I think later in the year, he'll probably have some success when the schedule lightens up a bit. But for right now, yeah, I think it's chaos on Miles Sanders, especially with his teammate, Kenneth Gamewell, playing less snaps, but still getting
way more production.
Even more with his touches. Yeah. He seems to be the more reliable receiving back of the 2 as well. So keeps his floor safer. A little bit tough to trust Miles Sanders. I think you got to hold him. Like, I don't think you can't trade him right now because his value's all the way at all-time low. You just got to hold him and hope they start running the ball more.
Yep.
Tough to say as Eagles fans here. Moving on to the next running back, Myles Gaskin. Now this one is ugly. 0.3 points, 2 carries for 3 yards, and 0 targets, and only played 23% of the snaps. What is going on?
39 right now.
In his defense,
is the most chaotic one on the entire.
They were down the whole game, and in week 3, he saw his highest amount of carries. So I think there's better times ahead.
His highest amount of carries, I believe, was 11. So
13.
aside from that,
13.
Aside from that, it's been double digit every other game. So 3 out of the 4 games, he has single digit carries. And you cannot rely on a running back getting that much volume in your starting lineup.
Yeah, you cannot trust Myles Gaskin right now. It's definitely chaos for me, especially after that performance. I think I would rather wait and see, especially going up at Tampa next week.
Yeah, you're not putting him in anywhere.
You're hoping that he's able to bounce back week 6 against the Jags, but for now, keep him on your bench. And if you can trade him, I guess. But again, the value's at an all-time low, so you're not getting anything in return. So just hold him for now. Hopefully he'll bounce back. Moving on to some wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb, 3.3 points, 2 catches for 13 yards on 5 targets. You guys, this is your boy here. What's going on? Calm or chaos?
I mean, it's not chaos, but it's it's
Dak
not what you
threw-
want to see. It's a little scary. It's a little upsetting.
Chill out.
Dak only threw the ball 22 times, so that's obviously going to limit the Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Cooper just happened to have the better day.
Yeah. He only had 3 catches, I'm pretty sure. But he got the touchdown, so.
Yeah, that's the difference.
It saved him.
But Dalton Schultz has just been eating. It's his fault.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz is really snapping. Yeah, Dak had a really weird game also, like you just mentioned. 14 completions, 188 passing yards, but 4 touchdowns. So there really wasn't much volume to go around. And Dalton Schultz was feasting.
Feasting on my bench.
Yeah, he had a really solid game again. So I think it's definitely calm. I think there's games where they're going to have to throw more, but the run game's really been working. So if it continues to work, this might become more of an issue, but I think they'll have to pass more, especially with that defense. Like their defense has been better, but I still don't think it's not beatable. Like teams are still going to put up points. So,
And I think one good sign you could take away from that game is although Dak only did throw the ball 22 times, almost 25% of them were to CD. So, I mean, he's going to get his volume in these weeks to come. It was just a really weird game.
yep, exactly. Allen Robinson, he has been on this list, I think, every week thus far. 9.3 points, 3 catches for 63 yards on only 3 targets. He's currently wide receiver 60 on the season. This is calm or chaos for A-Rob.
Absolute chaos.
If his name wasn't Allen Robinson, he'd already be riding pine.
He might not even be rostered.
Yeah, honestly.
Seriously, the numbers are bad, dude.
Yeah, I think they just need to get him involved one way or the other. You know what I mean?
He only has double-digit targets in one game, double-digit fantasy points in one game.
He has more than 35 receiving yards once this year.
Once.
And that was this week on late. It was like a late third down completion that really helped him get those numbers up just a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely chaos on A-Rob right now. I really don't know how you can like bench him or like feel comfortable benching him depending on your options. But I hope better days are ahead. If there's one positive sign here, the Bears offense actually looked pretty competent this week against the Lions. They actually were able to move the ball down the field. So I think better days are ahead, but right now it's chaos. If you have better options, I'm not mad at you if you bench him.
And David Montgomery's injury could possibly help.
Yeah, just a little bit as well. They're not going to put that same workload on Damian Williams, I wouldn't.
Well, and if Damian Williams is out, it definitely will help because who knows how much they're going to trust Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They just traded for Jakeem Grant as well, so I wouldn't be shocked if they tried to throw him in the backfield somehow.
Q, can you please fix this? It's really making me upset.
I'll just push it in more. That's what I should have done.
Oh my God, it's back to where it was.
All right.
I won't
getting
move.
back on topic here. Another back-to-back visitor, Tyler Lockett, 6.4 points, 4 catches for 24 yards on 5 targets. Only 9 targets over the past 2 weeks. Is this calm or chaos for Lockett?
Come on, my man.
I'm not.
You
buying
knew this
that,
is what you
no,
were getting when you drafted Tyler
I'm not
Lockett.
buying that this time has come. I think it's just the injury, and then he'll be fine. He'll definitely be fine this week.
All right. Yeah, I still think he's just boomer bust. We saw it all last year. You want him to be getting more involved, more with the targets. And we saw last year when he had those 4 to 5 target games, it was really tough for him to put up those numbers. So you take what you get here. Obviously, any given week, you can drop 20 to 30 points and win you your week. So keep rolling him out there. You got to stay calm, but you got to expect this might happen from time to time.
I mean, I told you guys that DK was going to start eating up that target share, and you didn't want to believe me.
We believed you, Woody.
Okay.
Yeah, DK Metcalf definitely been solid. He's been just more consistent of the two. Mike Williams, though, after 3 unreal weeks, comes back down to earth, crashing hard, 2.1 points, 1 catch for 11 yards on 4 targets against the Raiders. This is calm or chaos for Mikey Dubs.
You're calm.
Yeah, it was bound to happen.
Very, very calm.
They even mentioned it during the game that the Chargers have a history of underutilizing Mike Williams, which could be why he's been so boomer bust the last couple of years. But I think you're fine. It's hard to be consistent with where he was at the first 3 weeks, but I don't think he's ever going to fall that low again.
I'm still starting him every week.
Yeah, this is his first game with less than 9 targets and less than 7 catches.
Yeah.
So the volume just wasn't there. Although Herbert threw the ball, I think it was like 33 times. A lot of those targets went to the tight ends and Eckler. So it wasn't a good game for either receiver.
Yeah, it's 100% calm here. I think you got to just keep rolling them out there. It's just one down game. Most of the other games they played, it was pretty competitive. This one was actually the Chargers had the lead pretty early, so they really didn't have to continue to throw throughout the game to hold on to this one. A couple more wide receivers. Brandon Ayuk, I think he's also been here pretty much every single week. 2.5 points, 1 catch for 15 yards on 3 targets, and his snaps dropped again from last week. It was good to see him back at 86%, dropped back down to 67. Is this calm or chaos for Ayuk?
I think it's time to put this guy to bed. He might be droppable.
All right,
I
calm
don't-
down. Calm
I
down.
don't think I'd drop him yet.
Sanu had more targets than him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not droppable, but he is not touching my starting lineup maybe ever again.
Yeah. It's chaos. 100% chaos. Keep him on your bench. If you want to trade him, go ahead. There's no value
You're
there.
not going to get anything.
But
Trade him for Miles Gaskin. Then
if
no
someone
value
still
for no value.
believes, if someone still believes,
Somehow you
sure.
would still lose that trade.
Yeah. Definitely chaos for Brandon Ayuk right now. Juju Smith Schuster, 3.1 points, 2 catches for 11 yards on 8 targets. Is this calm or chaos for Juju?
Chaos. He couldn't perform with Claypool out, and this team's just bad in general. If you're
So
not
bad.
Deontay Johnson or Najee Harris, you're not going to do well on this team.
You are irrelevant.
Yeah. Big Ben threw the ball 40 times this game. Still just didn't end up working out. Honestly, I think Juju would be better off if Big Ben was not the quarterback right now. And he is dealing with a hip injury. So if
Everything hurts.
they end up having Mason Rudolph or Dwayne Haskins or whoever come in, start playing quarterback, like this team's going to have to throw. We've seen it already. Big Ben's thrown for 40 plus times, 3 out of 4 games already. So they're going to have to throw. This team is not ready to like continue to be a dominant team like they were in the past. So,
But the thing is that this team is going to have to throw. But even with them throwing as much as they are, Juju is still 4th on the team in targets, receptions, receiving yards. Still has yet to score a touchdown.
yeah, I mean, his targets definitely are down, but he's had 7+ in 3 out of 4 games. So that's not terrible. Like he's still involved. It's just a matter of getting him the ball and getting it into his hands. And I don't know if Big Ben
Yeah.
can throw the ball
He
downfield
can't.
like that.
He
So,
can't.
I think
He
that's
does
what's
have-
really hurting him.
He does have a rushing touchdown. I remember seeing it's like an end around.
He's
Yeah.
a new Robert Woods.
Definitely a little
But
bit of
worse.
chaos here for Juju. Really tough to trust him right now, but you're hopeful that he can bounce back. Let's do some tight ends real quick. Travis Kelce. I don't think we need to talk too much about this one, but I had to bring it up. 6.3 points. First time with less than 15 points since week 7 last year.
I was about to say since like 2015.
I did think
Yeah.
he was going to blow up like Dalton Schultz did, but against the Eagles defense, but it all went to Tyreek.
We hold tight ends in check.
And
Nah,
Jill,
Ah,
just
for
say
sure.
yes.
You just
Just
mentioned-
agree with us.
Dalton Schultz just 8. But yeah, stay calm on Travis Kelce, no doubt. Robert Tunyan, Matt, I'll let you handle this one. 2.8 points, 2 catches for 8 yards on 7 targets. Calm or chaos?
Waiver bait.
Why do I have to talk about this guy? I don't want to talk about him.
Is your tight end? You have him in the team. You have the most.
He is not my tight end. Dawson Knox is my tight end. Don't ever get it
he's
twisted.
been replaced.
But
Yeah.
I mean, he saw a season high 7 targets, and he caught 2 of them for not even 10 yards. I mean, that's like boo boo butt. He was somehow a deep threat last year. I don't know what's going on. Rodgers, I think he did miss him on a deep shot this past week, but I mean, he's just not seeing the looks. And MVS was out, which helped his target share, but he still can't do anything with it. So until I see him have another 3 touchdown week like week 3 last year, then he's just riding pine for me.
Yeah, definitely tough to trust him right now. It's definitely chaos, but I do still think there's better days ahead. I'll talk about him later. But let's get into today's sponsor, the Thrive Fantasy app for iOS and Android. Thrive Fantasy app, daily fantasy sports app for player props and sports betting. If you download the Thrive Fantasy app today, use our promo code SUPERFB. That is SUPERFB. You deposit $20 or more, you'll receive an instant $50 bonus. So go check out the Thrive Fantasy app today. Use our promo code and win some moolah, moolah, moolah. Let's keep it rolling into some trust or bust. We can talk about some more positive performances from this week. Let's start at the quarterback position again. Sam Darnold back again on trust or bust. 35.54 points, 26 for 39, 301 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He did have 2 picks, but he did help it out again with 35 yards rushing and 2 more touchdowns. So Darnold had 4 touchdowns this week. Huge week for him. Is this someone we can trust as a quarterback moving forward?
I never thought I'd say it. I'm trusting Sammy D.
Yeah, the narrative of leaving New York and being good is like true.
Yeah.
And I
He's got
saw
to get away from that disease.
he's the first quarterback in NFL history to have 5 rushing touchdowns in the first 4 weeks.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
Sam Darnold.
Bro,
Sam
And
Darnold.
the little cherry on top is he is 6th in the league in passing yards right now.
Yeah. He's been pretty solid. He has pretty much limited the turnovers. I think he has 4 through 4 games. So like 1 per game is really not that big a deal. As well as he's looked really good passing the ball. He's obviously added a little bit with his legs. So I'm trusting Sam Darnold right now. His schedule is easy. He's got a lot of easy games ahead. You really can't complain about it. So keep rolling them out there. Panthers are low-key a pretty solid team right now, and they look like they got a good chance.
And they don't even have their number
bounce
1
back.
running back yet.
Right.
Back.
Yeah, and McCaffrey should be back soon too. Definitely will help as well. So yeah, trust in Sam Darnold. What about Daniel Jones? 30.78 points, 402 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Also had 27 yards rushing. Trust or bust here for Danny Dimes.
He's becoming trustable. He threw 400 yards and Slayton and Shepard were out.
that is
I mean,
wild.
the defense he played against wasn't too great, but he's had a couple of these performances already. So his first interception of the season, so he's not Mr. Turnover yet. You could probably trust him. I don't know. And he's going to get them back his receivers back this week, so hopefully it only helps. And Saquon.
Yeah, you really can't say anything bad about Daniel Jones. He's been rock solid. Yeah. I can't say I can't trust him. I don't know if I'd want to put him in my lineup as my quarterback 1, but he's definitely worth a look. Throw on your bench or something if you're looking for quarterback, or if your quarterback has a bye week coming up pretty soon here. Last quarterback to talk about here, Taylor Heineke, 33.9 points, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, 43 rushing yards as well. Q, I know you started him this week, so I know you're trusting him, right?
I hope. I am. He's been very aggressive, but when he's in games where he's down, which they might be because their defense isn't that great this year, he will throw the ball. And we saw his game-winning touchdown was his long pass. But it hurts a little bit with Logan Thomas out for who hopefully not too long, but he does gain Curtis Samuel, so that could be a wash. But he is good.
Yeah.
He's
been pretty solid too. I think all of these names just go to show that quarterback is such a deep position. There's really not that much differentiation on a week-to-week basis. You could really not draft a quarterback and then just plug and play with free agents and be perfectly fine. So quarterback's getting tough to really complain about, as if you could pick up Taylor Heineke and plug him in like you did this week with absolutely 0 issues. It's crazy.
Q, who did you draft as your starter?
Tannehill.
Yeah, starting him over Tannehill against the Jets, even though he didn't have his weapons, still just feels bold, but it makes sense.
And that's no disrespect to Tannehill. He still had an okay game for not having either of his receivers.
Yeah, it makes sense. Quarterback is deep. But let's move on to some running backs. Leonard Fournette, 16.8 points, 20 carries for 91 yards, 3 catches for 47 yards on 5 targets. Is this his backfield now? Are we trusting Leonard Fournette?
Keep it quick.
This is 100%
Fournette's backfield. Ronald Jones is gone.
Almost irrelevant. I mean, on the season, Fournette has he has over double his attempts and double his yards. And with Gio out, he's getting all the passing down work. So, I mean, it's hard not to trust Leonard Fournette, especially in that Bucs offense.
And this is a contract year for Ronald Jones. He's not really showing much.
Did you guys expect
that
this?
Opportunity?
Did you guys expect this before? Yeah, before the season?
No, not at all. I think we all talked about it in our preseason episode, saying Ronald Jones should be ranked higher than Fournette.
I think we all did have him ranked higher, right?
Matt preached it. Yeah. He said, I don't know why Fournette's ADP is higher than Ronald Jones. I think it's the name. This may be why.
It was the fumbling issues just completely destroyed Ronald Jones' opportunity. I think it's got to be some mental issues as well right now, just in his own head about the fumbles and whatnot. So it's the Fournette show for now. Keep rolling them out there. Definitely trust him right now. Daryl Patterson, 34.6 points, only 6 carries for 34 yards, 5 catches for 82 yards, another 6 targets, 3 touchdowns. Trust or bust here for Patterson?
big trust.
RB2 on the season.
Like you can't expect it every week, but he's clearly a huge part of this offense.
You're starting him
100%.
most likely every week.
100%.
100%. You have to trust him. The craziest part to me is the snap percentage. Like he played 30% of the snaps. They're still riding Mike Davis, and he's doing absolutely nothing. Whereas Cordell Patterson is
getting the ball and he scores.
Yeah, 5+ catches every week. He has 5 touchdowns already. He's dynamic. You got to trust Patterson right now.
And the Falcons are playing in games where like Cordell Patterson is more useful than Mike Davis.
Yeah, exactly. And they're going to continue playing in those games because
that's going to be the game script almost all
I
year.
I have seen people they're beginning to rank him within the wide receivers, but they just don't want to accept that he's a great running back.
Yeah, he's pretty much both. You can start him at both. So.
Taysom Hill, pretty much, but better. So
Yeah.
I won't disrespect him like that.
Yeah, Patterson, you're trusting, no doubt. Kenneth Gamewell, we already talked about Miles Sanders earlier and his struggles, but Gamewell had 20.9 points, 3 carries for 31 yards, added a rushing touchdown, and then also had 6 catches for 58 yards on 8 targets. Is this someone we can trust right now?
He's
I'm
not
not
seeing 8 targets every week.
Yeah. I'm not trusting, but I'm not busting either. Definitely not busting.
Yeah, Q. I hope you're not busting during the podcast. But yeah, exactly what T-God said. 8 targets is a lot. And obviously the Eagles were down, but still in a close game. So that helped him get involved in that passing game. But yeah, he's tough to trust. He's not seeing enough constant work to plug him in your lineup. But I mean, if you have Miles Sanders and Gainwell, I would not be mad at you if you just rolled Gainwell out there. Like, he's been the more productive back. So I want to trust him, but you can't start him just yet. Got to see it more consistently.
Yeah.
Q, how did your shirt get back like that?
My muscles.
It's his traps. He's like this.
Speaking of Trap, shout out Trap. Sorry.
Shout out Trap.
Shout out Trap.
Look him up on Spotify. Good tunes.
Yeah, good things.
Good soup.
All right. Good soup. All right. Getting back on focus here. James Conner, again, on Trust or Bust. Really did not want to talk about him, but 20.6 points, 18 carries for 50 yards, and 2 more touchdowns, 2 catches for 16 yards as well. Are we trusting James Conner at this point?
No.
Nope.
Down dependent.
Absolutely.
Can't take him away, though.
Can't take him away. Score the
Can't take him
touchdowns.
away.
He's getting
But I mean,
some good points there, but yeah, without the touchdowns, his
it's
days
a
are not
very
that pretty.
mediocre day.
But who would you rather have, James Conner or Zach Moss?
Zach Moss, because he actually has a chance to take over the lead back role. I mean, this is Chase Edmonds' backfield. He had 120 rushing yards compared to James Conner's 50. He just so happens to be the goal line back that got 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Top 12 running back the last 2 weeks, too. But
Yeah.
I'm still not trusting.
Yeah. Can't trust James Conner just yet. Edmonds still has way too much of a role, and Conner's not seeing enough work, especially in the passing game, to be
Yeah,
consistent.
he has 3 targets on the season, I think.
Yeah. So it's going to be touchdown dependent. You can plug him in your RB2 if you're looking for somebody to plug in, because if he falls face first in the end zone, you'll be happy, but
This
won't
is
happen
just-
every week.
It's just like between the Cardinals offense and the Bills offense, you want all of their players just because their offenses are so good right now. They'll all put up some sort of production.
Yeah, for sure. Those offenses have been nuts. Moving on to another running back, J.D. McKissick, 16.9 points, 5 catches for 44 yards, and a touchdown on 5 targets. Are we trusting J.D. right now?
The
Why
only way I'm trusting him is if he's catching passes, because he has no more than 7 carries in any game so far this season. And in games where he has at least 5 targets, he's averaging right around like 18 fantasy points. And without those targets, it's a measly 3.5.
Yeah, but that sounds like we're talking about Cordell Patterson, kind of.
Well,
He doesn't run the ball.
They're like basically the same type of player.
Yeah, but he's been getting the more consistent target share.
Right.
We've seen games where McKissick has not gotten the work twice now. So yeah, it's tough.
Gibson is dealing with like a rib injury right now too, so that is something to keep track on.
Yeah, for sure.
Monitor that.
Yeah, I think McKissick's like a low end RB2 at best, more like flex play. You can plug
Definitely
in. You hope he
more
gets
like a flex.
You got to hope he gets the passing game volume there. Alex Collins, a name I really did not want to ever say again after like 2 years ago, I guess.
Neither did Matt.
Yeah. 15.8 points, 10 carries for 44 yards and a touchdown with 2 catches for 34 yards on 2 targets. A pretty efficient day for Alex Collins. Can we trust him?
Bro, it's his first game over 2 touches.
Yeah. I mean, unless Carson, unless Carson's going to miss this week with the neck injury, I'm steering clear of Alex Collins for sure.
Yep. Definitely stay away from Alex Collins. I mean, I think he's worth an ad, especially if you have Chris Carson. Definitely handcuff him. But in terms of plugging him into my lineup as a starter, bust for now. Would definitely want to see that again before even thinking about that. But let's move into some wide receivers. Q, your boy Kenny Galladay getting on the board, 17.6 points, 6 catches for 116 yards on 7 targets. Can you trust Kenny Galladay at this point?
He had first 100-yard a game. I mean, this is what we expected from him from the beginning, but I don't know. Hopefully you continue with everyone coming back. And I said about Tony, and he had 14 fantasy points and led the team in targets. So he definitely should be looked at. Well, when Slade and Shepard come back, probably not, but
yeah, it's tough. They actually have a really good amount of wide receivers here. I mean, Kadarius Toney looked electric in the open field. Galladay obviously still has the talent. We just saw it this week. And then Shepard and Slayton coming back pretty soon. It's gonna be a lot of mouths to feed. Don't know who's going to be the true number one, but for now, especially if they're out, Galladay's, you can trust them. But when they come back, I don't know if I trust them.
They play the Cowboys this week, and I hate being afraid of the Cowboys defense, but
they're allowing the 4th most fantasy points to receivers right now. Why are you scared of them? One corner can't cover the whole offense.
Well, no, for Galladay at least, because that's who will be covering.
I think if Shep's back, he would be more on Shepard than Galladay. But the good thing for Galladay is, I mean, he has a pretty solid floor thus far. He has double-digit fantasy points in 3 out of the 4 games.
Yeah. Yeah, Galladay should be fine. I think he's still a decent flex option right now, just not in that wide receiver 2 territory like you want him to be. Got to see some touchdowns start pouring in before Deshae and all that. We got a couple of Jets to talk about here. Corey Davis and Jameson Crowder. Corey Davis, 4 catches for 111 yards.
Revenge game.
And a tutty on 7 targets. Jameson Crowder coming back from injury, 7 catches for 61 yards. Also got a touchdown on 9 targets. Can we trust one of these guys, both of these guys? Who you like more, or are they both busts?
You could trust them both.
Ooh, no.
I don't know about trust.
I like Corey Davis more, but I'm not trusting either.
Can you ever really trust a Jet?
I don't know. That's my question there. I just don't know if I fully trust them. I think they're both now in the flexish range. I think Corey Davis has the more big play upside, but honestly, if the Jets are going to be down and throwing a lot, Jameson Crowder might become the safety valve for Zach Wilson. So could see him have a solid floor as well. Want to see more of Crowder, but Corey Davis has the upside to have one of these weeks, especially with the Jets being down in a lot of games. Even though they won this game, they still had to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Q, I really don't want to say this one.
I've been right so much this week.
AJ Green, 17.7 points, 5 catches for 67 yards, and a touchdown on 6 targets.
What's there not to trust?
Or bust for AJ Green?
Believe me, I've rostered him every single year. The second you trust him, he's going to let you down. He's going to get hurt. He's going to just do doo-doo. Not worth it.
This offense is just unreal. He's outscored D-Hop the last 2 weeks. Maybe he's the new number 1.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
He's dealing with the injury.
All right,
Don't go that far. But I think AJ Green is a trustable flex right now.
No, dude, no, don't.
He's the second,
I'm telling you, don't.
The second receiver you can
Pick
trust
him
on
up,
that
Sean.
team at least.
Look, I can't. I personally, I don't think I would want to start him in the flex. But like, if you're in a deeper league,
numbers don't lie.
Like 13 points in each of the last 3, 13 points minimum in each of the last 3 weeks, 2 touchdowns over that period. He's consistently got 6 targets a game.
The second you get him on your team, you're gonna lose every single game for the rest of your life, dude.
Kyler's balling out, man. If
Last-
AJ Green gets a little piece of the pie
He's a
every week,
virus.
Maybe you already missed your chance to trust him. Maybe these are the best 3 games he'll have all year.
it could be.
Or maybe he's back.
But for now, I think he's definitely worth adding to your bench if you're looking for a wide receiver.
Last week we ranked like who we trust the most out of Kirk, Moore, Rondell Moore and AJ Green. AJ Green was after Kirk, I
Kirk.
think.
Yeah,
But
if they're Kirk.
he's
AJ
easily the
Green's gotta
second.
be the number 2. He has to. Christian Kirk has more upside, but Christian Kirk's also going to have duds like this week.
I might
for 5
trust
yards,
Max Williams more than I trust Christian Kirk.
Wow.
Interesting. Definitely talk about him in a little bit as well. But yeah, AJ Green, as much as I hate to say it,
He's
I
back.
trust him a little bit. He's worth adding. He's worth at least having on your
No,
bench.
don't let him touch your team. Don't.
Look, I'm not doing it because I've been bit as well. But dude, I can't like. What else can I say? How can you say he can't be?
He's a virus.
We'll see. If
Might
it
be within our
continues.
league.
But Randall Cobb, 23.9 points, 5 catches for 69 yards, and 2 touchdowns on 6
Bust.
targets. Trust or bust here for Cobb.
Bust.
Bro, this is what I expected coming into the year. I really thought that's why Aaron Rodgers wanted him back. He still
Yeah.
got it.
I think it's a little too early to trust him, though. I'd like to see more out of him. I mean, he did get an uptick in usage due to MVS being sidelined, and I think he might miss at least like 2 or 3 more weeks, they said. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. But that offense really just runs through both of the Aarons and Devontae Adams. And if you're not one of those 3, it's hard to find like a solid spot in this offense. And we've seen that with Tunyan. We've seen that with Lazard throughout the years. So, I mean, I just like to see it maybe another week until I'm all in on Randall Cobb.
We can at least, outside of T guys, maybe say that we trust AJ Green more than Randall Cobb.
Yeah, I would.
I would say that.
I would too. I love AJ
He's
Green,
just
the
a
player,
virus.
but I don't like. It's just a weird thing, dude. If he touches your team,
PTSD.
you're gonna lose.
You got
dude.
PTSD.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Cobb definitely bust for now. I think he's worth looking at if you're looking for a wide receiver to add. He played the most snap share that he's had this season at 46. So he's still not even playing half the snaps out there. But with MVS out, there's a chance his targets can continue to increase. So
One more. AJ Green or Kenny?
Galladay?
Kenny.
Yes.
Galladay.
Kenny. That's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, you
Easy.
got to take Galladay there.
I thought it was close.
Van Jefferson, 21 points, 6 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown on 6 targets. Can you trust Van Jefferson right now? Is he getting close to over Robert Woods territory?
That's
Wide
crazy to
receiver
say.
32.
We were high on him coming into the year.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Van Jefferson's talent. He's obviously young. It's his second season. So Robert Woods, obviously he also had a good game though. Can't knock him too much. He did
Saved
have
by a touchdown.
14.8. Yep. Saved definitely by the touchdown, but still 6 targets, whatever. Van Jefferson also with the big play ability. I think he's still a little bit more boomer bust as Robert
Yeah.
Woods still has a safer floor, but Van Jefferson's worth an ad. He could be a bye week flex play for sure this season.
Sean McVay did say he has to get him more involved this week, Robert Woods. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will
We'll see if
see.
he's talking out his ass.
Like Sean said, Van Jefferson, you're just relying on that deep ball. So far throughout the season, he's only averaging like 4 targets a game. So unless he does get that bomb and score, it's really like whatever.
Yeah. It's tough to be like the third-ish, almost maybe even the 4th option on that team right now with Higbee as well.
Yeah,
So,
behind Higbee.
yeah, it's really tough. But I mean, that offense is pretty electric, so they're going to keep throwing it and airing it out. So he'll have some value for sure moving forward. Darnell Mooney, 18.5 points. We like to see a Chicago Bear have a good game finally. 5 catches for 125
Montgomery
yards.
had a good game.
Yeah, I know he did, but he got hurt, which sucks too.
Bears receivers.
Yeah, Bears receiver. Maybe I should have specified there. 5 catches for 125 yards on 7 targets. Trust or bust for the Moon Man?
Bust.
I'm going
Ooh.
I
bust.
want to trust him. I want
I
to
know,
trust
you
him.
love
I
him.
love Mooney. I do love him, but I absolutely hate that Bears offense.
They need Andy back. I think they need Andy. Well, at least A-Rod
Stop.
needs Andy back.
They need Foles.
Yeah,
They
they
need
need
something.
Foles.
They
They
need
need a
something.
new coach.
Honestly, Fields
They
looks pretty
do.
good against the Lions. I really can't complain
Yeah, the
about
Lions.
the performance, but yeah, do you
but
wanna
it's,
see it be
the
consistent?
Lions.
I think I'd rather just keep seeing Fields rolled out there and see what he can do and progress rather
Yeah,
than
right. Going back to
consistently
Andy
going
Dalton.
back to Andy Dalton. But
You know what you're getting out of Dalton. At least Fields has a chance to get better throughout the season and maybe help your chances to win. But Matt Nagy's fucking sorry.
Whoa, dude, are you serious?
Oh.
You're canceled, bro.
yeah, Matt, you're canceled
I'm bleeping
off the
that.
pod.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Please.
bleep that out.
I'll never know what he said.
Honestly, though, Matt Nagy is pretty bad right now.
Clueless.
Yeah. Darnell Mooney,
He's
though,
so
he's definitely still a bust right now, but I think you can add him if someone dropped him. 7+ targets in 3 of the 4 games. He does have 2 decent fantasy games as flex option here. So I think he has the upside to have a good season, but you just got to see the Bears offense put it together a little bit more. Last wide receiver, Leviska Chanel Jr., 17 points, 6 catches for 99 yards on 7 targets. Is this trust or bust for Leviska?
Week 2,
Trust.
2 receptions, -3 yards.
with
Wow.
Chark there.
Yeah.
Chark's out for the season.
It may have taken Chark to be out in order
Yeah.
to trust Chanel, but we're trusting him now.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Definitely got to.
Yeah. I'm trusting for now because Chark is out. He becomes the number 2 on this offense. He already had a pretty decent target share aside from week 3. So yeah, I think I just have to trust him based on the volume.
Yep. And when Chark went out, he led the team in targets, receiving yards, catches, basically everything.
Yep. Definitely want to see some continued good games from Leviska moving forward. But yeah, he's definitely worth trusting for now. Huge week for tight ends. A bunch of random guys have some really solid weeks. So instead of going one by one here, I grouped them into terms of who I think is a trust and who's a bust. We're going to go rapid fire. You guys let me know if you agree or disagree. Dawson Knox had 20.7 points. Trust or bust? I'm saying trust.
Trust.
You want everybody
yeah.
in the offense.
Yep. Jared Cook, 19 points. I said trust. You guys agree?
I be trusting.
Yeah.
Correct.
Got to trust for now. Dalton Schultz, 17.8 points. I said trust as well.
Trust. I
True.
thought it was
Oh,
a
with
fluke. I thought it was a fluke. Could have
Ride the
been
train.
the other guy. What's his name? Jarwin, but it's Schultz's show.
Yep. Trust for sure. Mike Gesicki, 16.7 points. I said trust.
Trust.
Low key trust.
143 yards in the last 2 games and a touchdown, and Fuller is now out.
Yeah.
Brissett likes him.
Yep. Got to be trust for now. Zach Ertz, I said trust as well.
He was a pick penalty away from having 20 points and a touchdown. I'm sneak peek. I'm ranking him over Goddard this week.
Wow. Wild.
He's
Yeah.
back. He's back also.
15 targets over the last
It
2
was
games.
1
I'm
week,
trusting
dude.
him. I'm trusting him for now. Not fully like 100% back, but I think the Eagles are finally learning that they need to use both tight ends here.
Yeah, he definitely has a spot in this offense.
One step at a time. One day they'll learn to use the running back.
Yep. All right. Here are the guys I put on the bust list, but also had really good weeks. CJ Uzama, 26.5 points. You guys agree with
Yeah,
the
you're
bust?
not trusting him. Bust.
Big bust.
T. Higgins coming back, baby.
Yeah, big bust. Mo Alley Cox, 19.2 points.
I
He did
said,
have 2
don't
touchdowns.
disrespect them. Don't disrespect
I put him on my
them.
bust list.
Disrespecting him.
No, I'm still not
Bust.
trusting him.
Yeah, cannot trust him just yet,
I
at
like
least.
this speed round. This is fun.
Max Williams, 17.6 points. Trust or bust? I said bust.
I'm
It's
trusting.
like so iffy.
His
I
name's
mean,
Max.
tight end. Yeah,
With 2
tight end's not
X's.
deep enough.
I
for
just
you
put him
to
on
not
bust because
trust
I
him.
need one more. I need to see it one more time.
Oh, I think you need to add one more tight end to make it.
No. Like I need to see it one more time before I say, all right, Max Williams, sure. But yeah, no, bust. Last one here, Hunter Henry, 13.2 points. I put him on my bust list.
Busty.
What if this was the whole episode? We just ran down trust or bust for like an hour.
The episode would be 5 minutes long. Yeah. So that's it for the tight ends, trust or bust. Let's move into some trade targets. Buy low and sell high. Q, start us off. What do you got?
He's an RB1, Nick Chubb. Somehow he's becoming a touchdown dependent RB1. He did have 100 yards last week, but he's only had 2 catches. That was the most he's had through 4 weeks. And Kareem Hunt has also outscored him the last 2 weeks. And I think this is why, like I said, he's going to be outside the top 10 running backs because of Kareem. I sell high is Mike Williams. He did have a dud. I don't think that's going to blemish his value currently, but I think week 3 was his peak, or the first 3 weeks were his peak. He's still wide receiver 7, so you can use that when you're trying to discuss a trade. But yeah, I wouldn't expect him to get any higher or better than he was week 3, but I also don't expect him to get much lower than he did week 4.
It's pretty tough to get lower than that.
I'd be
T-Gods,
surprised.
who do you got for your buy low and sell high this week?
My buy low is a very good wide receiver who is not very healthy right now. AJ Brown. He's had 8 and 9 targets in his first 2 games, and last year he was playing on 2 bad knees that he had surgery on. So he's going to come back fine. He's a strong man. and
He
he will
is buff.
definitely yes, he huge. But yeah, AJ Brown, go get him. And my sell high is Tyler Boyd. He's the wide receiver 24 right now. He still plays on the Bengals. T. Higgins is coming back. Like, this is probably like I think he's better than what we thought he was going to be, but T. Higgins coming back, that's definitely going to downgrade him a little bit. And I'm still just not a big believer in the Bengals offense. And I think he's still going to be the third receiving option on the team.
Maybe fourth after Uzumo's emergence.
Please stop.
Maybe.
Relax.
But no, he's at a super high right now. I'd sell him while you can.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. He's really got a solid floor, but the upside definitely gets capped with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase there. All right, Matt, what do you got? Buy low, sell high.
Buy low. I mean, this has to be the lowest that this man's value is going to be at all year, and that's CeeDee Lamb. He's coming off of 2 single-digit fantasy point weeks in a row. So, I mean, it's not going to get much worse than that for him. Still leads the team in targets and receptions so far this year. Not receptions, yards. I believe Coop has 2 more receptions, so it's not really much of a difference. But there are much better days ahead for CeeDee Lamb. He's still going to be a big part of this offense. And his upcoming schedule, he has the Giants this week, and then he has New England, a bye, and then he's in Minnesota. So, I mean, not really anyone you're too scared of. So, yeah, go out, and if you can get CeeDee Lamb at a good price, do it. Sell high, James Conner. This man's volume that we're seeing right now is max what he's going to be seeing all year, and he just so happens to be falling into the end zone. He's still going to get goal line work, but, I mean, 2 touchdowns every game is – you're not going to keep that up throughout the season. So, I mean, his premium's at an all-time high right now as well. So, if you can dish him out, maybe get – I don't know. I can't really think of a name right now, but at least like a flex tier player out of him, I easily pull the trigger on that.
And it'd be a lot easier, too, if you're able to trade him without the name because – the numbers are looking good, but James Conner, you know what you're probably going to get from him, and it's not going to be the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, I'll finish this off with my buy low and sell high. I'm buying low on, believe it or not, Robert Tunyan. So hear me out for a second here. He has been pretty much like, if he's out there on waivers, I'm definitely picking him up. But if someone's still holding on to him and they're just angry about how poor he's been, he had the pretty big game in week 2, and that was pretty much it. 7 targets this week, the highest he's seen. 78% of the snaps, the highest he's seen as well. He's running more routes now that MVS is out for the next couple of weeks. They've got Cincinnati, Chicago, Washington, Arizona. They're going to be throwing KC. They're going to be throwing Seattle, Minnesota. Schedule is not scary for Tunyan, and I still think he's one of the primary red zone targets on this team. We saw him have 11 touchdowns last year, so I think the touchdowns are coming. Target share has been there, and I think it's going to continue to be there. I'm buying low, not for a lot of money though. Like you're buying pretty low here. Like you're just buying low to get if you really need a tight end is really the only reason I'm buying Tunyan. Like if you're a team that's really struggling, you're looking for someone to really help you out, he's someone I'm buying low on. But sell high, it's got to be Cordell Patterson. I think this is the highest his value will ever be. Currently RB2 on the season. He's playing not even 40% of the snaps every single game. After a 3 touchdown week, someone that's looking for a running back to plug in, you could probably get an RB1 right now. Like you mentioned Nick Chubb. If someone's panicking about Nick Chubb or somebody like that, and you throw them Cordell Patterson, I mean,
that is the fleece of a lifetime.
That's a fleece. Some leagues you might be able to get away with that. Probably not our league. We're a little bit.
Who's doing that straight up?
I mean, I would definitely do it.
If he has a week 4 performance in week 5, then it's considerable.
But I'd even consider doing it for a couple other running backs as well. Like if you already have Damian Williams or grab him on waivers, like I'd consider doing it for David Montgomery as well, just to buy low, 4 weeks, get him back, second half of the season, start strong. So Patterson's value, all-time high, sell him if you can for something really good. Let's get into Thursday night football tomorrow. Really good Thursday night game. Change of pace here. Rams at the Seahawks. So at this point, I think Matt Stafford's fully locked in as a top 8 quarterback on a weekly basis. Would you guys agree with that?
Yep. Got him at 6.
5.
I think I got him at 7. But yeah, pretty close to where you guys have him as well. So you're starting Matt Stafford. Don't overthink that one. But a down game for Cooper Kupp standards this season. Did you change how you ranked him and Robert Woods this week, or did you move Van Jefferson up after his big week as well?
Still got Kupp at number 4.
Yeah, it's still top 5.
Yeah. And Woods, he's way down there, actually. Where
25 for
28.
me.
Yeah, I got him at 28 as well.
That's so sad.
I know.
It breaks my heart.
They used to always be ranked like 5 spots apart at least. Max.
And Woods was ahead of him.
Yeah.
I always put Woods
And
ahead of
it's
him.
like-
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Times have changed. Cooper Kupp, elite. Robert Woods, flex play. Van Jefferson, more of a dart throw flex play. I got him at like 47. So
They say breakfast
I
is
did
the most
not rank him in my top 45.
breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That's where chemistry is made.
yep, Stafford and Kupp, breakfast buds. And also another rock solid game for Henderson. I think he's had at least 15 points roughly in all 3 of his games thus far. Where did you rank him this week?
12.
And where do I
He needs to
got?
find the end zone.
Got him at 14. I
him
mean,
at
that
13.
floor is ridiculous. In the 3 games that he played, he's averaging 16.5 fantasy points. So, I mean, you can't really argue against that. He's a clear number 1 back when he's in. He had 14 carries last week compared to Michelle's 3. So, I mean, he's not really in a competition for volume.
What do you mean he needs to find the end zone? He found the end zone twice already.
Yeah, huge fried.
Find the
3
end zone on
games.
top of his volume. He'll be elite.
Well,
No,
And he had
for him-
6 targets last week.
for him
he
to
compared
found
be
the end
top-
zone
0.
this week. Yeah.
For him to be top 10 for me, he just needs to find the end zone.
Yeah. I think he's right outside. I think he's pretty much a high end RB2 right
Yeah.
now, if not low end RB1. He's been rock solid. Moving on to the Seahawks, Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf. We know at this point, no matter what, you're starting them. But did you move Tyler Lockett down your rankings after yet another dud?
Yep. Got him down at 19.
First of all,
Hey, you're disrespecting him.
Wow.
we need to temper expectations on DK, who has had a history of struggling against the Rams. Last 5 games he's played the Rams, 12,
Say his
5.
name, Q.
DK Metcalf.
Say his
Oh,
name.
oh.
Say his name.
Ramsey Island is very effective against DK Met 12, 5, 14, and 12, and only had 1 touchdown through those 5 games. For some reason, Ramsey just gets in big DK Metcalf's head. But that's why I think Lockett bounces back this week.
I got Lockett at 15. I got DK Metcalf at 10. So this is probably the only time I'll have them both outside my top 9, I guess. Usually I have DK closer to 5. I still think you're starting DK Metcalf, obviously, if you have him. And Tyler Lockett, you're starting as well. Like, you got to keep rolling him out there. 2 bad games. He still could easily have 25 points plus this week in the blink of an eye. So keep rolling Lockett out there. But how about Chris Carson after Alex Collins snapped for the Seahawks? Did you move him down at all? Where'd you rank him?
I did not move him down because of Alex Collins. I moved him down because of injury. I have him at 17. Alex Collins is not even on my rankings. Not worried about Alex Collins in the slightest bit. The real thing you just want to keep an eye on is if Chris Carson has to miss this game because it's being played on a short week. So
Yes, that's
really
the question. That's the question. Would you start Alex Collins if Chris Carson's out?
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't.
It depends
but
who
if I
your
needed a running
options
back,
are.
yeah.
I mean, that's still like a Thursday game. Alex Collins could have you looking at 5 points
Oh,
for like 3 days up until
But
Sunday.
we
so.
have seen Carlos Hyde take Carson's spot on a Thursday night and do well. I mean, Alex Collins is
This
not.
is Alex Collins.
Yeah, I would just stay away because I feel like if Carson's out, they'll just do some weird committee where like Freddie Swain is a running
Travis
back. Also.
Homer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, DJ Dallas.
They still got DJ Dallas too.
your guy.
DJ was
I think
nice.
he's 4th
Dude.
string. I don't know why they don't use him, but yeah, Chris Carson, I got him at 18. You're still starting him if he's playing, but definitely a little bit more nervous than usual. But let's pick this game. Rams at the Seahawks. Who you guys got? Juicy one.
Taking the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams.
Gotta go Rams.
Sweep. Oh my God. We
Gotta
swept with
go
the Rams
Rams.
No one
last
was gonna
week. I
take
feel like I
Seahawks
should
And the
switch.
Seahawks are home.
No one took Seahawks
I
at
feel like
home.
we should
The
switch.
Seahawks lose games at home.
I'm just scared that Chris Carson's not going to play and then I can't change my vote.
We all swept for the Rams last week and we got doinked.
Double
but-
blinked.
Yeah, whatever. I'm still taking the Rams. All right,
Cody
Q, let's do some
Parkey.
trivia before we get out of here. What do you got for us?
All right. Do we have some Papel?
I've got Papel.
I've got Papel E.
Boligrapho.
Is that it?
N-A.
Yeah, that's pen.
NA.
Boligrapho.
I got lapis,
Lapis.
Spanish class.
pencil.
Senior Coombs.
All right. So this is a who am I question. So
Chris Quars.
through
I can
4
support.
weeks, I've only had one. I'm a wide receiver. I've only had one double-digit performance. My quarterback is currently 28th. I am currently wide receiver 71, while last year I finished wide receiver. So I finished wide receiver 16 last year. Currently wide receiver 71. I only had one double-digit performance through 4 weeks. My quarterback is QB 28, so he's obviously garbage.
Shit, this is hard.
Wait. One more time. That was a lot to take in.
Yeah. Sorry.
Slow it down.
Currently wide receiver 71.
Right.
I've only had one double-digit performance through the first 4 weeks. My quarterback is currently QB 28th, so that could be a reason why I'm so bad.
Have they played every game?
Yes. And I was
Receiver
wide receiver,
16?
finished wide receiver 16 last year.
Oh, wide
What?
receivers.
This is hard. QB 28.
Don't worry about the Q. I mean, I guess the Q. I thought the QB would
definitely
maybe
helps. Then I know it's on it's a bad quarterback. I'm trying to think of who that is, so then I could know who a wide receiver could possibly be.
They didn't
This
get
is
hurt at
so
all this
hard.
year.
No.
Oh man. I'm gonna need a minute on this one, dude.
Definitely
I
going to
need
need a minute.
I need to rack my brain.
Yeah, and through 4 weeks last year, I was wide receiver 23.
Okay.
So obviously a
rock
big
solid.
downfall.
I think I might have it.
What the
But I don't know if this bull finished wide receiver 16 last year.
I have another hint, but I don't know how much that'll give away.
Mm,
He was
I think-
mentioned on the podcast. Whether it was written down or we just said it, his name was said.
I feel like he's fuck. I feel
I
like
don't
he's
even
low.
think this bull's name was said.
Whatever. I'm just gonna freaking write him. I don't care. I don't like this answer, but I'm writing it.
Just
All right. I got an answer. I'm not happy
If
about
it
it. though.
did. All right. We all
Everyone
got
got an answer?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the only one that makes sense in my head.
It was Juju.
Oh,
Oh my God! I wrote down his teammate.
Who?
I was
Deontay?
going to say Claypool.
No, Claypool.
I wrote
wrote-
A-Rob, though.
No way, Juju
I
was.
knew it wasn't
16th
A-Rob because I
last
said he
year.
was wide receiver 60.
I'm
earlier.
looking at it.
I immediately
Yeah,
thought
but
A-Rob.
you
though.
know Q has like slightly different numbers.
I know. I thought
sometimes.
that too. I thought that
I
too.
was thinking
like,
that. I think he wrote the 7 as a 6. I was like, oh.
I wrote Brandon Ayuk.
I was good. Ayuk was my first answer, but then I was like, he wasn't 16 last year because he missed so many games.
All right,
I'm still pretty solid,
these
but
next
yeah.
questions are more like football related than they are fantasy, but you'll see. So the Eagles allowed 5 touchdowns to Mahomes last week, week 4. What 2 current NFC quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks, dropped 5 touchdowns in back-to-back weeks against the Eagles in 2015? One quarterback did it on a holiday. So in 2015,
Panicking. I need a pen.
What?
My pencil broke.
well, I guess I gotta wait, or I guess I could say it. So in 2015, 2 quarterbacks dropped 5 touchdowns
We're
each, back to back. Or I guess I should
Run it
wait.
back, Q.
All right. So Mahomes dropped 5 touchdowns on the Eagles last week. In 2015, 2 current starting NFC quarterbacks dropped 5 touchdowns in back-to-back weeks on the Eagles defense.
In 2015.
Back-to-back weeks?
So 2 weeks in a
NFC
row, these quarterbacks dropped
are
5
current
touchdowns on the Eagles. One of them
back-to-back weeks.
did it on a holiday. Neither of them are on the team they were when they did it, but they're still in the
Oh,
NFC.
That changed one of my answers immediately. Okay.
I can give the holiday if you
No,
want.
no.
I have no idea.
All right. Let's run through this. So NFC.
They're both starting. They're just not on the same team, but they were in the NFC when they did it. They're in the NFC now still.
It's such a wild. Okay. I know one.
This is insane.
Should I give the holiday?
No, I mean, it doesn't matter. Sure. It's probably Thanksgiving
Oh,
or
wait.
Christmas. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of the, well, those are the two.
Yeah, there's only two options.
Do they play on New Year's? Halloween?
Any Halloween game?
There's a Thursday night game on
I
Halloween.
think there's Sunday night games on Halloween this year. Sunday games.
That's
I think Halloween's on Sunday.
That's
Spooky.
lit. Halloween.
I think I know one answer. I need another one.
The other one I didn't even know about, but
On a different team.
one. Okay. One more hint.
No hints. No hints.
No more hints.
All right.
Did
Would
we
have
get
You always want to
one-
give extra hints,
Do we
but we
get
just need
1
time to
point
think.
per like?
Yeah,
name?
1 point per name.
Yeah, I think I got one.
Hold on, like 20, 30 more seconds.
Okay. Could it be?
Dude, I can't think.
Could it be?
I cannot think.
I think it might be.
I'm gonna give the hint after you guys write your
No.
answers down because I want you to, because then maybe you'll know. But
All right, but you
can't
can't write
switch.
after that. You can't
Yeah,
write after that.
yeah.
Okay, wait.
I only have one name written down. I'm so lost.
All right, I'm done. I'm writing
You
it.
need to know the
got it.
NFC.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the NFC.
There's
I'm at a disadvantage with these questions.
All right,
that's so bad, Matt.
I
You need to
think
learn those.
I'm confident, and I'm
Just
not
write someone,
confident.
Matt.
I'm confident in at least one is correct.
Same.
One of my two is correct.
I'm just writing a name.
All right.
He's not even in the NFC right now.
All right. So the other hint was the one quarterback who's now he's on another team, but he's in the same division.
I think I got that one.
All right.
too.
So the two quarterbacks are Stafford and
No way. fuck.
Winston. Winston
Yeah,
is
I got
one.
Winston. I got Winston.
Winston?
I
I
thought it
was
was
gonna
Kirk.
write Jameis. I wrote.
I got
I
Winston.
got
I was gonna
Staff.
write
Dude,
Kirk. And
I didn't get
Jameis.
Stafford. How did I
He
get
said
Stafford?
holiday.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
I thought Kirk
Stats
Cousins
always,
bodied the birds.
Bro, Lions
and
always
on Washington.
play. Lions,
Calvin. It was the Calvin Johnson game.
Damn it.
Why wasn't
I
it
hate
Tanny?
trivia.
I still got one.
Tanny's in the AFC now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Matt
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
know
in
the
the
NFC. AFC.
Neither do I. Tanny's not in the NFC anymore.
I know them. I know
Where
them
is he?
pretty well.
Yeah.
Tanny's in the AFC.
Tennessee.
Titans are in the
AFC
AFC.
North.
Okay, yes, that's
AFC
what I thought.
North.
What do you know? Don't point
I
at me.
got Jameis, but I thought Kirk Cousins was a lock. I really thought he just bodied the birds, but honestly, he does not throw
Didn't like
five
that, Matt.
touchdowns.
Wait.
Wait.
Me and Sean got a point.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the last question because the fourth question I lost it.
Where'd it go?
All right. So this
He
is
dropped it.
so these two teams played in week 4. They've also played the most, sorry, this is a question. What two teams have played the most times without ever meeting once in the playoffs? And they played in week 4. So just got to think back to the week 4 games and
What two
see
teams
which
have
one
played
makes the most sense.
times, but never played in the playoffs.
never played each other.
What, bro?
Just
They
think back
played
to the
week
games.
4, but never played each other.
Like,
in
no,
the
these two
playoffs?
teams played in week 4.
And they played each other.
These two teams have played the most times since 1930, but have never met in the playoffs.
Okay.
I got it. I know it. I know that this one I am confident in.
Any confidence?
I am very confident in this answer.
I'm feeling good for Matt. He's had a down game so far.
I think I got it too.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I don't like your confidence.
So you guys should have done a parlay. You probably would have known. Because then you would have known the games.
I got it. I got it.
All
You
right.
think you got it?
I don't know. Maybe.
All right. I'm
Are
good.
we showing these ones?
It's the Bears and the Lions.
Yes. Where is it? Fuck. Proof. Proof's in the pudding.
How've they
What do you
never
have-
played each other in the playoffs?
The Lions
One's-
never make the
one's
playoffs.
always
That's
Yes.
like a rivalry. And they're so bad, there's no way that one makes it and the other does
When
too.
was the last time the Lions were in the playoffs? 2000, like.
Probably
10.
like 1980.
I found the last question, but it's kind of bad. It was the Jets and Falcons play in London this week. What's the only other team that's never played in another country? NFC
The
team.
only team?
All right,
Never.
bonus question. We're doing it.
All right, now I'm at a disadvantage.
You said NFC.
And it's an NFC team. That's your hint.
That lowers it for me to 16 teams. But
Matt's
Matt's still at 32.
No, he's at like
Oh, no,
25.
I'm at like 24.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's not like a hint I can give other
never
than
played
NFC.
in another country.
Yeah.
Such a hard question.
I got this one. I know it.
Stop. No, you don't.
I already have it written down.
I actually have confidence that Matt might know this.
How?
I have it. I know it.
You have an answer?
Wait,
Yo, Sean's
Changing
Googling.
mine.
Dig.
Oh, I'm Googling heavy.
do I want to change mine?
Oh my God, he is Googling.
I'm Googling. My hands are like this.
His eyes are looking across the screen.
Yeah,
No,
he was
I
like,
was
"Oh,
literally
shit."
zoned out focusing.
Speed
for
read.
you guys. All right,
Yo,
I locked
trivia's
my
taking
answer in.
5 ever.
It is.
Wait,
I
wait, wait.
know.
It is
Okay.
the Green Bay Packers.
No fucking way.
Oh,
Look at that shit.
Dude, when have
He literally
we ever
Googled.
played?
He
in
literally
I
Googled.
swear to God, I did not Google. You can check my history.
When have the Eagles ever
Share
played
my
in
screen
different
right
countries?
now.
Like 2 weeks ago, they played in London against the Jags.
Who did Matt right?
The Eagles.
Yeah, that was literally recent. You should have known that. I thought about good teams closer to the west a little bit. Maybe Green Bay's really not that close.
All
to the
right,
west.
Mr. Geography.
But I thought it would have to be a good team. They only send trash teams over there.
They do only send trash teams.
So, all right. Trivia went a little long here, but that's a wrap for the week 4
That was
recap.
forever.
We will be back on Friday with our week 5 preview. Make sure you're following us here on Twitch if you're watching. Throw us a sub on YouTube as well. Spotify, Apple, Anchor, wherever you get your podcast, the audio version is there. We're also on Twitter at SuperFB Podcast and Instagram at Super Fantasy Podcast, as well as TikTok, Super Fantasy Bros. We will see you guys on Friday. Peace.